What's going on, traders? Welcome to the first Forex forecast of the year 2025. I hope all of 2024 was a great year for you guys. As a courtesy towards you guys, I am running a 30% discount on lifetime access for the Diamond members all of January. So if you want to lock in for all of 2025, click the links down below to wap.com/FX telepath. Use the promo code 2025 all of January to get 30% off lifetime access. Looking forward to working with everyone in 2025. Starting the forecast off with the DXY, as usual, we have seen nothing but strength, even over the holidays here. Price action hasn't been so great, but we have seen nothing but strength. We are clearly headed to weekly supply at 110. You guys remember I pointed out this high. I said we were probably going to fake out at this high, maybe pull back down to this demand and rally up. Looks like we are just rallying up, and the next stop is that weekly supply, which remember, it is also a monthly supply zone as well. So I think this is a high odds area to see a deeper pullback in the dollar. But obviously, I think we have another couple weeks, maybe a month, maybe all of January to see some more strength in the DXY. On the daily chart here, beautiful trends to the upside. Make sure you have this trend line on your chart. Attach it from here. That's the second point. Point 1, point 2. Make sure you have this trend line on your chart. This is the trend line I'll be monitoring to see if the dollar will be strong. If we break this trend line, that might be an indication, hey, maybe we're not going to pull up to that weekly supply like I said. But as long as this daily trend line is holding, guys, it is longs all the way on the dollar here. Even on the 4-hour chart, beautiful 4-hour uptrend, pretty much, picture perfect, nothing to complain about here. It is possible we even do get a decent retracement, maybe down to this rally-based rally demand at 107.13 and rally up from there. It's going to depend on what happens on the daily chart as well. But I just wanted to point out, even if we do get a pullback, there's a lot of buying areas and demand zones here to hold up price, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, guys, it is longs all the way on the DXY until we can, like I said, hit that weekly supply zone. It's going to be bullish on the dollar. And until then, it doesn't mean we can't get some day trading shorts on the dollar, right? But as far as swing trading, long-term trading goes, it's longs all the way on the DXY. Make sure to check out that discount for the lifetime access membership as well, guys. Really looking forward to working with all of you of all of 2025. Let's lock in. On to the weekly Forex forecast for the Euro US dollar. On the daily chart here, absolutely picture perfect daily downward trend line and trend right now. I'm going to draw this little supply zone that I want to draw right there at 1.04 on the daily chart. If we do get a retracement up to that daily supply, I think it's a decent area we could see a move off of to the downside. This could be a zone where maybe you look for day trade in here that you turn into a swing trade with like 25% of your position or something like that. But then at the end of the day, as long as this trend line's holding, it's going to be bearish all the way. And then, like I said, pullbacks up to that daily supply could be good for a swing trade and even day trading there as well. We have clear profit margin looking at the weekly chart down to this weekly demand. Obviously, this is the inverse of the DXY. This would be equivalent to the weekly supply. This is the weekly demand on the euro. So we still have tons of profit margin down to that weekly demand zone there on the Euro US dollar. As far as other trading potential, we have a beautiful 4-hour downward trend. Let me just see that 4-hour supply. So yeah, we have a beautiful 4-hour downward trend line right now. Have this trend line on your charts, point A, point B. Have this exact trend line. It is the correct trend line. Yes, I do believe there's a correct way to draw trend lines. That is the trend line. We pause right before the zone up here. So if we do get a pullback up to that 4-hour supply, 1.047, I think it's a great drop-based drop to look for a short trade at, especially since it's kind of a resistance trap zone as well. So I think it's a high probability supply zone we could see a move off of, as well as this downward. As long as this downward trend line's holding, 15-minute time frame shorts are going to be fine. So let's say we push up, hit the trend line, react to the downside, and you see a little 15-minute supply zone there. However you like to trade, I'll be looking for shorts as long as that downward trend line's holding. So monitor that downward trend line as well. And on the 1-hour chart, we have a separate 1-hour downward trend line right here, point A, point B. Make sure to draw it on your charts. And as long as this 1-hour downward trend line is holding, 5-minute time frame shorts are going to be fine, and 1 minute as well. And then obviously, if we break this 1-hour downward trend line, we do have a decent little drop-based drop supply zone at 1.035 that I think we easily could see a move off of to the downside. So as far as the euro goes, it is shorts all the way on day trading timeframes. Pullbacks up to the 1-hour supply is going to be good. And then, like I said, on the 4-hour chart, Downward trend line shorts are going to be fine as well, and pullbacks up to the 4-hour supply is good as well. And then we have the daily supply above as well in case we really see some strength with tons of profit margin on the weekly chart to the downside on the euro US dollar. On to the forecast for gold. Looking at the weekly chart, nothing but strength here overall, but I wouldn't deny, the last, I don't know, a couple months we have seen some hesitation. But I mean, guys, we're at all-time highs, right? We expect some hesitation. I even am expecting a deep pullback on gold, which I really, really welcome. But in the meantime, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Every like helps. As you can see, I just did a 2-month donation to my local hospice charity, $160 from the ad revenue generated from these videos. So much appreciated, guys. This is all thanks to every single one of you. So make sure you hit that like button to get this video out to more people. So as far as the weekly chart goes, looking for a pullback, not really getting that just yet. As far as the daily chart goes, things are a little bit more clear here, as in we had a trend line, it's broken, we are clearly going sideways. We do have a daily demand at 25.80 that is technically still fresh, so I think it's a decent zone to look for a swing trade off of to try to catch the move to the all-time highs again. Even if we break that zone, there's tons of daily demand down below, but the nearest one, like I said, is at 25.80, guys. So that's the nearest zone there as far as the daily chart goes. As far as the 1-hour time frame goes, I don't really call that a 1-hour trend line. I'm gonna get rid of that, but there is a demand zone down at 26.27. It removed a proven supply zone. What I mean by proven is that we had this supply zone from back here. We reacted once, twice, 3 times, 4 times off of this supply zone. So when this supply was removed by this demand zone at 26.27, it's a good demand zone. In my opinion, it's the only demand zone I'm seeing that's fresh. That's the nearest zone that we could see move off of. So that's the trade I'd be looking for on gold. As always, if you don't feel comfortable with just an entry, stop loss, take profit above, you could just wait for the zone to be hit, go down to your entry time frame, which would be the 5-minute chart, look for 5-minute demand zones on the way up. That's the nearest rally-based rally 1-hour demand zone that I'm looking at for potential longs. If you are bearish on the on gold, we do have a 4-hour uptrend at this point. Not my favorite trend, but it is a trend. If you are bearish, if you think, hey, I absolutely got to get in short, what I'd be looking at only is this 4-hour supply 26.80. It's a good little drop-based drop supplies, and I think it's great. I've gotten comments before, oh, you're saying go long and go short. How is this a forecast? I've gotten those stupid comments before. And look, guys, the supply zone's up here. The demand zone I just pointed out is down here. So you could look for longs at this demand zone. It rallies up, take profits at supply, and then get in short, right? So you can trade both sides. Where do I think gold is going overall? I do think it's going up. But, I think it's going up in the next couple years, guys. But as far as where I think it's headed now, it is tricky to tell. We have lost trend on the daily chart, so it's interesting. It's an interesting one for sure. The longs I prefer. That's why I point out that 1-hour demand zone. But look, if you're bearish, I like to point out the only area I would look for shorts in an upward trend, and that is the only area, in my opinion, on gold at that 4-hour supply at 26.80. All right, on to the forecast for the USDJPY. On the daily chart first, we have a picture-perfect, 100% perfect upward daily trend line. Things are looking very, very strong on this daily time frame. Just incredible looking trend line. I love it. All signs are pointing to the upside. However, we are in fact inside of this weekly supply zone. We've been pointing out this weekly supply for a while now. We caught this move to the downside. We are in higher than the previous test, and we've tested it well over 50%. I would say about 80% of the way, or maybe 65, 70% of the way into the zone. So it is looking weak. It is something to consider, the fact that we are into a higher time frame supply like that. So what we're going to have to do is monitor the daily chart. I will go back to it here in a second, but looking at this weekly time frame, the supply is in control, so we could expect to see some downward pressure. I'm not going to be bearish the yen until, even if we, let's see if we even can, if we can remove this upward trend line on the daily chart, at that point I'll be at least not bullish anymore. I'm not going to be super bearish until we can get a downward trend in the daily chart. However, if we do break this upward trend line, that would be an indication that we could be, headed lower on the yen. But even though the weekly supply is in control up here, we still have this strong looking daily trend. So as long as this trend line's holding, I think looking for longs is going to be fine, especially since the zone is already tested up here, right? If this weekly supply was fresh, then I wouldn't have been trading at it. to the long side, but it's not fresh, so it's not super concerning. So I'm not seeing anything on the 1 hour chart. However, on the 4 hour time frame, overall, we do have a 4 hour trend to the upside. However, it's very obvious we are just kind of ranging out here. Couldn't be more obvious in my opinion. So a couple options. If we do break this high here, at that point we will have a new upward trend line. At that point, you could add 50-minute time frame longs into your trading plan on the USDJPY. That would be fine because then we'll have a 4 hour upward trend. For the meantime, the only zone I'm seeing is this very strong rally-based rally demand zone at 155.23. I think it's a great area to look for a potential pullback long entry at. It's also a resistance trap here as well. So I think it's a high probability zone to see a move off of. If you don't feel comfortable, like I always say, with an entry, stop and take profit at the high. That's fine. You could just look for confirmation trade inside of that zone as well on a day trading time frame. But overall, on the yen, to recoup, the daily trend, to recap, the daily trend is up. The weekly supply is tested, so I'm not concerned about the weekly supply. So the daily trend is up. It is longs all the way as long as that daily trend line is holding. The higher odds trading setups would be this 4 hour demand zone down below, or waiting for that high to be removed and then looking for day trading longs. But in the meantime, guys, if you say you're just getting along with the daily trend, that's completely fine as well. I'm just pointing out the highest probability setups there on the 4 hour time frame on the USDJPY. On to the forecast for the GBPUSD on the weekly time frame here. A very significant thing has taken place. We have broken this upward trend line on the weekly chart. Very, very significant. Could definitely indicate lower prices. However, it is also possible we see this move where we rally up to the weekly supply and then react off of it. Maybe the banks and the large players, maybe they want to push price below this low, but maybe they want to fill in more sell orders up here first. Their leftover orders from the supply zone they created, and then short from that zone. That is definitely a possibility, but all signs right now are pointing to the downside. So what we need to do is monitor this daily downward trend line. If this trend line is removed and we create a daily trend to the upside, in my opinion, we are most likely headed up to that weekly supply zone I've been pointing out. However, there is a near-term daily supply above. It's not really that near, but whatever. At 1.285, I think we could see a move off of that. But as long as this daily downward trend line's holding, it is shorts all the way. Like I said, yes, it is possible we do get that retracement up to that weekly supply. That's fine. But we need to see evidence of that first. We don't want to just be getting along in a downward trend saying, I think we're going to pull up to that weekly supply. We need to see evidence. There's no evidence until this downward trend line is removed, guys. So how do we trade the pound now? Well, on the 4 hour time frame, we have a beautiful 4 hour downward trend line. This needs to be updated right here. That is the new downward trend line right there. So things are looking really weak in my opinion. We have a clear resistance area right here as well with a supply zone above. So as long as this downward trend line is holding, 15-minute time frame shorts are going to be fine. I don't mind a pullback up to that 4 hour supply 1.26. So yeah, you could be looking for day trading shorts. Let's say it breaks. Let's say you get stopped out. You take a loss. That's fine. Then we have to wait for this 4 hour supply to be hit, and then we could continue to look for shorts. So good little 4 hour supplies on there. Draw that trend line I just drew in the 4 hour time frame. Day trading shorts all the way. There is two little 1 hour supply zones here. We are pretty much reacting off of this one already at 1.24, so we could see a move off of that supply there. If not, there is a little hidden drop-based drop right there at 1.248 that I think we could easily see moves off of as well here on the GBPUSD. On to the USDCAD. The weekly trend is up. We have seen nothing but strength. We are kind of due for a pullback, but honestly, we have seen nothing but strength here. We have nice daily trends to the upside. There is a daily supply that was created back in 2020 that is coming into effect right now. It's not super concerning for me. We've already kind of reacted off of it once, so now we could definitely see the continuation of the move above. On the 4 hour time frame here, we caught a beautiful rally-based rally 4 hour demand zone trade from that 4 hour demand zone that was called out in the daily market breakdown videos for the Diamond members. If you want to trade alongside myself and the community, join the Diamond membership for exclusive access to our daily market breakdown videos and catch trades like these. Plus, dive deep with our full-length forecast covering 26 plus markets, our interactive Sunday Zoom sessions, and personal homework to sharpen your strategy. And you'll also join our private Discord group for direct access to me and unlock a complete library of A to Z video lessons to master supply and demand trading. Don't miss out. Let's level up your trading. Links in the description down below. So this trade has already worked out very well. We are targeting the high, so we are still letting profits run. What I will say is if we can remove this high, that would give us a better upward trend line that we could connect to this low here, and then 15-minute time frame longs are going to be good. But until that high is removed, I wouldn't be doing that because this is way too sideways for me. We already got the trade down there, so we definitely don't want to be chasing. We just need to wait for that high to be removed to indicate continued strength on the USDCAD. However, if you are a 5-minute or a 1-minute time frame trader, what I am seeing right now is a picture perfect 1 hour trend line to the upside right here. Let me just redraw it because I messed that up. Nice looking upward trend line on the 1 hour time frame. I think it's a great trend line. Make sure you draw this one, and as long as this trend line's holding, guys, 5-minute time frame longs are going to be good on the day trading time frames, even a 1-minute chart as well. So it's longs all the way here in the USDCAD. Hopefully we can get more trades like this throughout the year. I'm sure we will. And in the meantime, it's pretty much day trading longs only here on the USDCAD. All right, on the forecast for the AUDUSD, the Aussie US dollar, we are into a daily demand zone right now, but this demand zone was created quite a long time ago, and you can see it was already tested once in 2022. So, not really too much concern for me in my opinion, but we do have a nice daily downward trend line. So I will be monitoring that downward trend. If it's holding, I think it's shorts all the way. As far as trading it goes now on the 1 hour chart, things are getting a little bit choppy. Hopefully this upcoming week makes things a little bit more clear. But what I will say is if we break above this trend line, if you're trading a 5-minute or a 1-minute time frame, I would probably hold off if that trend line breaks. If we continue to push down, then I don't mind looking for shorts on a 5-minute or a 1-minute chart to the downside. As far as a 4 hour time frame goes, we did actually remove this downward trend line. So that's very unfortunate. Because I really wanted to continue to look for shorts. But who knows? Maybe this could be an indication we are going to see some strength. Pull up to this base drop 4 hour supply zone at 0.63, where we can easily see a move off this zone. It's a great zone, great move away. The only thing that makes me a little bit nervous is it's kind of obvious, which I don't know, I'm not going to get into detail on that, but it's a good zone. Now that we've broken above the 4 hour downward trend line, we need to monitor the downward trend line on the 1 hour chart that I just pointed out. If that gets removed, then I think we are maybe headed up to that 4 hour supply zone. So in the meantime, how do we trade the Aussie? Well, I'd be focused on this 4 hour chart. Pullbacks up to that 4 hour supply could be good. Confirmation shorts in there could be fine as well. You also want to map out this low. If that low is removed, then okay, we can continue to look for shorts on a 15-minute chart. So basically waiting for this low to be removed or waiting for that supply zone to be hit here on the AUDUSD. Remember guys, any questions at all, do not hesitate to send me a message on Instagram or X, or even just comment on this video. I'll respond to every single one of you. On to the forecast for the USDCHF on the weekly chart. We are clearly just going sideways here. However, we did just remove this proven weekly supply zone, so that could definitely indicate strength in my opinion. On the daily time frame, we have beautiful trends to the upside, beautiful daily upward trend line. Make sure you have this one on your charts. We are about to approach this daily supply at 0.91. I'm going to be monitoring the supply zone. If it gets removed, any demand zone there, we could certainly look for a long trade off of that daily demand zone if we get that. So that's what I'll be waiting for. But in the meantime, it is longs all the way. It's things are looking really, really strong. I would say there is some sort of daily demand down below. So if you're bullish, that could be a pullback zone you're interested in at 0.886. Good little daily zone there. In the meantime, I don't really see any zones. But if you look on my two right side charts, the 4 hour and the 1 hour chart, both are trending to the upside. So what that means is 15-minute and 5-minute time frame is a bad 5-minute time frame longs are going to be good as long as these trends are holding. On the 4 hour time frame here, I do prefer this upward trend line, the way I drew it right now. So as long as this upward trend line is holding, 15-minute time frame longs are going to be good. If let's say we push up, break both of these supply zones, any 4-hour demand zone there could certainly be a good area to look for trades off of. And if we do get these zones removed and there is a demand zone here, that is a zone that the members will get on their chart link that I send out every month if you are a paying member. So make sure to join that if you want to get the zone that does remove both of these supply zones, if it does. So the safer bet, like I said, would just wait for these supply zones to be removed and wait for new 4-hour zones. But like I said, trends are to the upside, daily trend, 4-hour trend line. So monitor these trend lines. As long as they're holding, it's longs all the way, especially on the day trading timeframes. Last but not least, onto crude oil weekly chart first. Just a reminder, beautiful daily downward trend line here, looking pretty weak in my opinion overall. We have seen some strength this past week in oil. We cannot deny that. If you look on the lower time frames, 1-hour chart, beautiful trend to the upside. 4-hour chart, lots of momentum and trends to the upside. However, this daily supply I've been pointing out for a while now is about to become in control at 74.70. We could tighten up the zone just a little bit. Maybe I'll just do that wick to wick, something like that. Maybe just a little bit fair. So maybe at 75.07. I personally think this is a great area to look for a potential swing trade short. Why? Well, because we have a weekly downward trend. It's a nice little rally base drop area of supply that removed a demand zone. Not only that, we have a clear resistance trap right before the supply zone. So I think it's a great area to look for shorts off of. If I took a loss here, or 2 losses, or even 3 losses at this daily supply zone on the lower time frames, I would be fine with that. Obviously, it would suck, but it is what it is. I don't get mad at losses anymore. I'm way beyond that. But I'm saying it's well worth it in my opinion. So what you could be doing is wait for this daily supply to be hit. At that point, price should look like this in the 1-hour chart, probably something like that, right? We'll have the extended trend line. Let's say the daily supply comes in control here. Now we want to look for shorts. Then we got to wait for this upward trend line to be removed on the 1-hour chart. And if there's a supply zone, boom, that is our confirmation trade. This is the model we are looking for once the daily supply is in control. It is not yet. So what we want to be doing is monitoring this 1-hour trend line. As long as this trend line is holding, you could be looking for 5-minute or 1-minute time frame longs. But as soon as this trend line gets removed, then we need to hold off on longs on these time frames. So to summarize again, watch this 1-hour trend line. As long as this trend line's holding, if the daily supply is up here, as long as the trend line's holding, the supply hasn't been hit, 1-minute and 5-minute time frame longs are good. Once the daily supply is hit, then we need to wait for this trend line to be removed, giving us a confirmation short entry as we come off of that daily supply in an overall weekly downtrend. If you guys want to watch the full length forecast with all the other markets, make sure to subscribe to the channel membership to get access.